All right. I'm now in the Community Board 12 offices. Is that correct?
That's correct.
And your name is
Yvonne Reddick,
Yvonne Reddick, and you are the
District
District
Manager,
Manager of
Community
Community
Board
Board
12.
12. Um, um, Mrs. Reddick, there have been some rumblings. I'm not sure if this is true that there has been an increase of yuppies or hipsters, excuse me, that have moved into this neighborhood. Do you know what they are, first of all?
If so, I'm not aware of it.
Young, affluent individuals, who are in many cases white and liberal in their political mindset. They've moved into various neighborhoods around the city and around the country, particularly here in New York with Williamsburg and some other neighborhoods. Um, you haven't seen any of that? Any signs of this?
Well, when you say young, white, uh, innovative, yuppie, this community is extremely diverse. It's now more diverse than ever. So, yes, we do have, I would say, new flux of income, newcomers, but the community is becoming more and more diverse. It has always been, and now it's more than ever. It's an increasing. It's increasing.
What have you seen an increase in that particular group I mentioned, the hipsters?
But I have not seen an increase in that young white hipsters. No,
Can you speak a little louder?
no, I have not.
Um, do you think that hipsters, if they were to move into this neighborhood, do you think that they could have an influence can help increase the fortunes of the community?
Yes, everyone can.
Why
If they
so?
come in, I says everyone that comes into the community and make the community their home, and they would like to become a part of the community, doing things constructively, things that getting involved, things that would certainly help to enhance the community. And it's just not the young white hipster, but all nationality. Because we all have a role to play, a role in this community. And if there's anyone, it does not matter who they are, but if they can come in and become a part of this community and interested in working together with us to make it a better community.
Right. This is Greg Mays.
Mm-hmm.
This is Greg Mays again, right?
Yes, it is.
Um, you are the head of a Better Jamaica.
I am indeed.
Um, can I ask you a few questions? There's been some talk of hipsters moving into the neighborhood. Some people are saying that hipsters have already moved into that neighborhood. Hipsters have moved into neighborhoods, neighborhoods such as Williamsburg, Brooklyn, Ridgewood, Queens, and many people believe that hipsters, who, in case you don't know who they are, they're people who are white, affluent, and liberal in their political philosophy. Um, they have moved into neighborhoods, and many people accredit them for improving the fortunes of many of these neighborhoods that were once in desperate straits. Do you think that have you heard about hipsters moving into Jamaica?
Well, let's begin with my friend. Who are you, and why are you calling me in particular?
I'm Andrew Johnson of the Queens Chronicle, and I'm writing a story about this.
Okay, and what's your name?
Andrew Johnson.
Andrew Johnson. Okay, from the Queens Chronicle. I can't say that I've heard of any hipsters moving into the neighborhood, but that doesn't, shouldn't suggest to you that is not happening. maybe it's the tip of the wave that may be coming in. But I can't say, my friend, that I've heard of any hipsters moving into the neighborhood.
Do you think that hipsters moving in will, in some way, increase the fortunes of the neighborhood?
How did you define hipsters?
As I said, people who are young, affluent, white, and politically liberal.
Okay. And you're asking if they would do what to the neighborhood?
Improve the fortunes of the neighborhood.
Okay. Well, let's see. To the extent that affluent, the presence of affluent folks, just attracts a greater variety of just sort of, retail, restaurants, or whatever, then, that's always a good thing. I don't know if it has much to do with their whiteness, if you will.
No, I'm not emphasizing the white part. I'm just emphasizing, do you think that they can be a boost to the community like they were in Williamsburg or some of these other communities?
Yeah, well, I would say that anyone with money is just sort of a boost to the community and stuff. Now, if they're also, are they artists necessarily, or they're just...
Yeah, it's a mix of them. Artists, musicians,
Okay.
maybe young, maybe people working in Manhattan.
Yeah. Look, man, the more interesting the mix, the more interesting the offering, if you will.
They left a message on my machine from an Amy Johnson, something about that you had called her. I don't know why she gave me your number or whatever. I have no idea what this is in regards to.
Wait. First, I'm Andrew Johnson of the Queens Chronicle.
Yes.
What's your name?
My name is Joe Moretti.
And what's your position?
I'm a community activist in Jamaica. I have a blog called Clean Up Jamaica Queens.
Have you heard that some hipsters or young affluent individuals who are liberal leaning, have you heard that they are coming to Jamaica? Because I've heard some talk about how they're starting to now make the trek to Jamaica now.
No, I have. I think she was mentioning something on that. I couldn't quite hear everything. That's kind of news to me. I certainly would hope that would be the case. I know I'm aware of, because of a lot of people being priced out of Brooklyn, that there are people, working their way into Queens, and I know there's been a lot of young people going into Ridgewood. But this is the first, to my knowledge, of hearing anything as far as coming to Jamaica. I certainly would hope that would be the case. But that is news to me. I haven't heard anything in regards to that.
So you haven't?
No.
Do you know of anyone who has?
Not to my knowledge. Like I said, I try to keep, I try to keep on, up with what's going on as far as in Jamaica, and that is news to me. I haven't heard anything about that. I've been certainly hoping for that, because I know that there are people, definitely coming into Queens who used to live in Brooklyn because they're just getting priced out of Brooklyn. But I haven't heard, I have to admit, I have not heard anything as of this date of anything like that as far as young people, coming into Jamaica. I hope it's true, but like I said, I'm not aware of anything. I've never heard of such a thing.
Do you think that the hipsters will help, make a difference in the neighborhood in a way?
Yeah, I certainly do. There's, it's obvious what's happening it's obvious what has happened, in the past as far as in Brooklyn. We're going back to, as far as Williamsburg and that. But, there's an upsurge in things that are happening, I know, in Astoria, because of a lot of the so-called young hipsters who have been priced out of Brooklyn, who are now coming into Astoria. And I know there's definitely been a big change in Astoria as far as the population and the various types of businesses, like restaurants and bars that have been opening in the last several years in Astoria. That wasn't the case because of these young people who are going into that area. It's been my wish ever since I heard that, there was an influx of some people coming over into Queens. I would certainly hope that maybe they would come to Jamaica just because of the prices in Jamaica compared to other aspects of Queens. And I personally think that would probably be a good thing in Jamaica, because we certainly could use something good here in Jamaica. And my big thing has always been that the way it is in Jamaica, unless we get an influx of some kind of new blood in the community, it's going to be very hard to turn this community around. I mean, it's been on a downhill, since the 60s, and I think the only thing that probably will definitely help it is an influx of new people coming in, but new people of quality coming in, and that would include young people or young artist types, because I know Jamaica's always trying to tout, this is a place with fashion and arts and that. I don't know, to what degree, that is, but I mean, I think it certainly would definitely help in a big way in Jamaica if that would be the case. Because, I mean, in other areas where you've had young, and especially young or artistic type people come into community, it's definitely made a difference. I mean, it's made somewhat of a difference in Long Island City, although there's a lot of different reasons for that change in Long Island City, because I used to live in Long Island City. But I know there is a big difference happening in Astoria with all the young people. There's a huge amount of different types of cafes and bars and restaurants that are opening here because of that type of population, which that wasn't the case before. And I also know, although I'm not really very familiar with the area in Ridgewood, that there has been some of those types of people coming over into Ridgewood. But this is the first of my knowledge of Jamaica, though. But I definitely think that would be a big coup for Jamaica to help turn it around, because I mean, they're in desperate need of changing this community, and I feel the only way it's going to change, even though there's various amounts of development that is happening and going to be happening, down the road, I think the only thing that's really going to make a change is an influx of quality people coming into the community.
Thank you very much, sir. What's your name again?
It's Joe Moretti, Moretti.
Is Joe spelled traditionally? Joe, J-O-E?
Yeah, J-O-E, yes.
All right, thank you very much.
You're very welcome, Andrew. Bye.
And what's the name of your organization?